Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So as we know, Teofimo Lopez is making his return on the 10th of December at the Madison Square Garden Arena in New York. And originally, his opponent was supposed to be Jose Pedraza. Now me personally, was it the fight we wanted? No. But honestly, I didn't really mind the fight, to be honest. I felt it was an okay fight. But Jose Pedraza has pulled out due to a certain illness. He is no longer available for the 10th of December, and a replacement has been drafted. And I'll tell you what, it's a rather good replacement. Sandor Martin steps in for the 10th of December, and now we have Teofimo Lopez versus Sandor Martin. Now, this fight conveniently was ordered by the WBC as some sort of title eliminator. Maybe there's been some sort of, let's say, behind the scenes agreements with Jose Pedraza to step aside and bring in Sandor Martin so that Teofimo Lopez can fight this title eliminator. Regardless of a reason, whether I'm just being a conspiracy theorist or not, regardless, it's a better fight in my opinion. And yeah, I can't lie, I am looking forward to it. The only thing I will say, it is relatively short notice for Sandor Martin, so hopefully this guy's been training hard. We shall see on fight night. But providing he has been training and he's been, keeping active, keeping in the gym, etc., I think this is going to be an interesting fight. Sandor Martin obviously has been a European champion in the super lightweight division, and he's a guy with pretty decent fundamentals, good footwork, decent defense, really good understanding of distance, and he's a crafty southpaw. One thing about Sandor Martin is he has a very good lead hand, both in terms of his jab, his feints off that lead hand, and his lead hand control in general. And we saw that against Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia primarily being a boxer-puncher. He's a straight up and down kind of guy, does the basics well, good straight punches, good left hook. Mikey is a basic boxer-puncher in my opinion. And we saw Sandor Martin in that fight essentially completely negate Mikey Garcia's jab, and when Mikey can't get that jab going, he's not as effective. He's very reliant on that jab to set up his other punches. He's not really great at leading with power shots or things of that nature. And yeah, Sandor Martin, in my opinion, completely outboxed Mikey Garcia in that fight, pretty clearly from what I remember. And yeah, Sandor Martin really turned up that night and put on a good boxing display. We shall see what he brings to the table when he matches up with Teofimo Lopez. I think naturally his style, his southpaw style, could give Teofimo trouble. Sandor Martin's the type of guy not to really give too much away. He doesn't take unnecessary risks. He maintains good defense, and stylistically I would say he merges between being a boxer and being a counterpuncher. He's a crafty type of guy. When you look at him, doesn't really look all of that special, but he's one of those guys that does all of the basics well. So, he's of a good standard, Sandor Martin. He is, and he's very experienced. I believe his record is something like 40 wins and 2 defeats, something along those lines. He's not the biggest puncher, but, he's a good boxer. And, Teofimo Lopez, of course, coming off that loss last year against George Kambosos Jr., he's on the comeback trail. He had one comeback fight against Pedro Campos, who was a come-forward type of guy. Stylistically, he was tailor-made for Teofimo Lopez. Campos was your routine comeback opponent, but Sandor Martin, I believe, will pose many more problems than Pedro Campos did. So this will be interesting in my opinion. We'll see where Teofimo Lopez is at right now in his career. I really do think we'll find out a lot about Teo in this fight, where his head's at, etc. Because I'll tell you what, especially in regards to discipline and his mentality, because Sandor Martin has that style to where he can really frustrate a guy, and if he starts well against Teo, and Teo struggles to land his power shots, he's not having much success, it's going to be very interesting to see how Teo would react in that scenario. So I think Sandor Martin stylistically poses some interesting problems for Teo. And yeah, if Sandor Martin's style does give Teo issues, it's going to be interesting to see how Teo mentally responds to those problems, So yeah, I think Sandor Martin is a decent opponent, though I would still favour Teofimo Lopez in this fight. I think his creative offense, or more creative offense, might see him through here, might get him the win. Unlike Mikey, I would say Mikey is more fundamentally sound than Teofimo Lopez, but one thing about Teo is he is more creative with his offense. He is willing to lead with power shots. Not necessarily as reliant on that jab to then land his power shots, unlike Mikey. So I think Sandor will have a lot more to look out for in this fight with Teo in comparison to Mikey Garcia. But regardless, I am relatively satisfied with this fight. It's a better opponent than Jose Pedraza. Not that I don't rate Pedraza, but Sandor Martin, in my opinion, has more hunger. I would say he's got more in the tank. The only issue I really have here is that it's at short notice, but, if Sandor's been training, if he's been keeping fit, if he's been sparring, then it's an interesting fight in my opinion. I think this one's an interesting fight. We shall see how this one plays out. Again, I favour Teofimo, but who knows? I mean, Sandor Martin upset Mikey Garcia, outboxed him, so we'll see how he poses in this fight. So we'll see. Anyway, share your thoughts below. What do you make of this fight? Do you give Sandor Martin a chance? Do you think he's a live underdog here? Or are you going with the favourite in Teofimo Lopez? I think it will be a tough fight, but hook or by crook, I see Teo winning. Let's leave it at that. But yeah, interesting fight. Share your thoughts below. Peace.